What is going on, everybody? Today I want to talk about a concept that I think has costed me $1 million probably up to date, and is why 90% of businesses fail. And I just think this concept is so important. And it's the difference between growing and scaling, okay? Now, huge breakthrough concept here, okay? So if you've ran a business and you've been able to grow it and you make more money, or maybe your income goes up, right? And you're making more money, but you're not saving more. You don't feel any better off, right? Now that you're making more money because you feel like it's not being invested, it's not being saved. I can't see it in the bank account. I don't feel like I'm getting richer, etc. Right? And this is very common in business where businesses grow. You know, I have construction companies that are multi seven figures, and we're a little bit sub seven figures, but I make more in profit than they do, right? And so the idea is like they're making so much more in revenue, but they're taking home nothing, and it's not an asset. And my business, to a great degree, is like that in its own right. And so I think this applies to any business. So most people think grow or die, get bigger by any means necessary. We need to make more sales. We need to increase revenue. And yes, businesses do have to grow. More customers, higher spend, more purchases. You need all those things. But if you ever want to sell your business, they don't pay for growth. They pay for the reliability of the cash flow. They pay for the reliability of the business to generate a profit. And reliability comes from doing the same thing for the same type of customer over and over and over again, where the outcome for you and the customer and a shareholder or somebody who wants to buy your business is predictable, right? And so, if I'll give you a couple different examples, but I think of my business, and I could grow by selling a bunch of construction companies, and I could sell them custom work. I could have different price points. I could have different services. But it's so difficult to do that. And yes, in the short term, I will make more money. But the problem is that it'll all be custom. So everybody will have different problems that I need to solve, which makes it hard to solve all of them, because as smart as you think you are, if one person is spending all of their focus solving one problem extremely well, they're going to do a better job, no matter how much better you think you are, than if you try and solve 5 problems with the same focus, because it's only 20% of your focus going into each of those problems, and you're probably not going to outperform somebody who's spending 100%. Anyway, but with all that being said, if I sell those customers or custom services, it's hard to systemize that and make it repeatable, because I'm serving all these different people. I'm giving them different services, and it's a leaky bucket, because at the end of the day, because it's not a reliable outcome for a specific person, some people will get good results, some people won't, and there will be a lot of people who will leave after a couple of months. And if you're in a consulting service-based business that's reoccurring, the name of the game is not to sell a customer, it's to keep a customer. I want to get a customer and end up living the rest of my life with that customer, and being able to market their business, and I am a partner with them. And if they start another business, I'm a partner with them, because they see the value and they get the value, and it's a great relationship. And so I don't want to have a leaky bucket. I don't want to spend my life filling, trying to make sure a bucket is filled with water and there's holes at the bottom. AKA I'm losing customers because I'm servicing everybody, and some people get good results, some people don't, and the people who don't, they leave. The smarter thing to do is to fill the holes, AKA be very specific about the customer you serve and what the outcome you deliver them is, right? What is the problem you're solving for a specific person? Okay. So in my case, it's a residential remodeling company that is above $3 million, that does a specific type of job, and they need, they have certain economic, so it's like $100,000 project and up. There's a bunch of reasons as to why I'm picking that as my criteria. For example, $3 million in revenue means that they probably have a sales team. If they have a sales team, I can give them a better result than if they don't have a sales team. So that's that. for example, a 100K average ticket means that they're working with big remodels. I'm very good at being able to sell big remodels. I don't want to have to sell 100 $10,000 projects. I'd rather sell 10 $100,000 projects. I have a better product and service to do that, right? So another example would be they need to have 30% gross margin. Meaning if they don't have 30% gross margin, basically it's just like I could get them all the jobs in the world, but they're not making any money on the job. And that's a business problem. That's a structural problem. And so anyway, I have these criterias to make it more specific. And then if somebody can meet all of those, not only is my service so specific to them that it's more compelling than a generic cookie cutter marketing service, and also it allows my product to be very specific and I don't have to always be changing it because I'm serving one type of customer and solving one type of problem, and I'm just finding the people with that problem and selling it to them only. That is scalable. That is not growing for growth's sake. It is scaling. You're getting more efficient as you grow. That is what scaling is. It's not getting bigger and making less. It's getting bigger and making more. Okay? So that is a huge concept. That is a huge concept because I've always been focused on making more and more and more and more and more. And yes, I have made a lot of money doing that, but I would have made so much more. And I would have grown so much more. And I would have made so much more money in the long term because I was always having to fill a leaky bucket, right? I'd always take 3 steps forward, 3 steps back, and just run that loop as many times as possible, thinking I could somehow, pour so much water that, I would overcome the holes in the bucket. But it's smarter to just plug the holes and then fill the bucket. You don't need as much water to get the same outcome or a better outcome. And so a great simple analogy to understand this, to finish this video off, is imagine growing is like bulking, right? It's just somebody eating a bunch of calories and junk food. And yes, they are gaining weight. But scaling is adding lean muscle. It is every pound that you add on your body is muscle. It's making your overall body stronger. The overall composition is better, right? And so is it better to put on 20 pounds of muscle or put on 50 pounds of bulk weight? Like, what's actually better? And so fundamentally, that is the question that we all need to ask. This is something I'm thinking about a lot. And I know that it would have saved me so much time. And it's such a hard concept to actually, like, you'll hear it, but until you really go through a business and you really can feel what I'm saying, it's tough. But anyway, I hope that this was valuable. And if you have any questions about business, I love business. And so I'll be happy to talk about it. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Thanks.